So my name is Rickerby Hinds. I am a professor and a playwright here at UCR. I unofficially graduated in 1990, but officially I graduated in 1994. The name of the play is BLACKBOX, an epic poem with magic. And the full title includes the fact that the story is by Henry Box Brown and it's adapted by Rickerby Hinds. This story is a story that found me and I didn't find it. And what I mean by that is I was commissioned by the Ford's Theater to write a story dealing with American history, pretty broad. And I had heard about Henry Box Brown for many years. And you know, what I knew was shipped himself to freedom in a box. So I started just reading through different folks in history, and I went back and looked up Henry Box Brown and read his narrative. And I'm like, this is the story I'm supposed to tell. And there were a couple of reasons why. One, the story itself, his narrative itself is very compelling, it's very dramatic, it almost moves like a play. And the second thing was it had magic in it. So I've always wanted to do a play with magic. And in doing the research, I discovered that Henry Box Brown made a living as a magician after he freed himself. And so it was like, well, yeah, this is the story I'm supposed to tell. So that's how I landed on it. And then from there, it was, I don't want to say it was easy, but the story itself just unfolded. The things, the information on, for instance, how he freed himself in the box, right? And he describes roughly 7 positions that he was in while he was escaping. So it's like, well, of course, those are the 7 scenes in the play. And so there were things like that that continued to happen that made me go, this is a story that I'm supposed to tell. And that's a really great feeling as a playwright, to find something that you don't feel like you're forcing, which I've been working on things that I felt I was forcing, and I know that feeling. And so with this one though, it just, you know, was like, here we go. Because this UCR, this place is responsible for me being in the position that I'm in as a playwright and as a professor. So there used to be a space right over there called a barn stable. And when I started writing plays here at UCR in the late 80s, the barn stable is one of those places where I snuck in to rehearse. The very first play that I wrote, I did it on the University Theater stage. The second play that I wrote, I did it on the University Theater stage. The third play that I wrote, I did it in Watkins 1000. So for me to be able to come full circle and do this play here where, you know, I began was really a godsend, because it was, the way it happened really wasn't me with a grand plan. It really was our production manager seeing a reading of the play and coming to me afterwards and saying, Herb, we have to do this at UCR. And then he goes, and I have to do the lighting design. And so it was like those kind of things continue to happen. And so for me, I am so like overwhelmed in a way to think that the vision that I have for this play will always be started at UCR. It will always be the first full production of this play was done at UCR. When we go to the Ford's Theater, when we go to Broadway, when we tour the country, this will always be the place where it started. And for me, that's so, you know, that's so important, because this is where, you know, I mean, I can talk about all the things I did while I was here. Some of those things I can't talk about, but this really is, I mean, I'm here at the barn, and I remember the barn back in the day when, you know, we'd do the nooner on Wednesdays at noon, and then the band would come and play at the barn in the evening. I remember coming here in the evenings, and there would be nachos, and so I'd buy a Coke and I'd eat nachos, and that would be my dinner. So all of these places have really, really important significance to me, and to be able, once again, to do this play here, because I do envision it going really far. I do envision big things for this production, and I know probably every playwright who writes a play goes, you know, I want to do Broadway. But I have a feeling, so that's why it's so important that we got to do it here. We get to do it here.